Hello again, everyone. It's me, John. I want to thank you for checking out my channel. And today I want to talk to you about something that I've learned along my journey. And it took me a while to understand it, and I'm still learning from it. And it's called the power of the mind. How critical is in reversing cancer naturally. Not trying to be a hero, not trying to uh, prove something to anyone. But when I got diagnosed with the second cancer and didn't want to do chemotherapy or radiation, uh, all kind of things are going on in my mind. Was this the right decision? Uh, you go talk to friends who've never been through it, so um, they're looking from the outside, looking in, and so I didn't know anyone at that time that was reversing cancer naturally. Only people that I've seen on the internet. And what I've learned from this journey is how powerful the mind is, on what you think about and what you meditate on, and how it affects your immune system, your mood, uh, the way the Creator created us. And we're fearfully and wonderfully made. It's a scripture in the Bible that I live by. And I always quote that scripture because what I've learned from cancer is it doesn't have to be a death sentence when you bring your thoughts, taking every thought into captivity and bringing them in order and focusing on and telling your body that it's healed, that it's going to heal, and understanding that just the power of thought, the power of your thinking can change your DNA. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful a thought is. One thought, every one of your cells is eavesdropping on every thought that you have. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful the mind is. And you have a choice. You can when I got diagnosed, I had a choice to focus on and let everything that the doctor said to me resonate within my body, within my thought life, which it did for a while, like stage 4, like possible stage 4, kept on going over and over and over and over in my mind. And for the staging process, I refused to. I didn't want to go through it. For those that know my story, I didn't want to go no more testing. No, I ain't putting up with this no more. And I've learned that I had to keep, besides nutrition and proper rest, proper hydration, like a lot of water. Mm-hmm. What goes on up here? The mind. What goes on in the heart? The connection that both of them have. It's like a super highway, between your gut, your heart, and your mind. And understanding that every thought that you have affects every cell in your body. Your body is its own ecosystem. It's its own pharmacy. Okay, it's its own electrical plant because all your cells need electricity. If the divine creator, the good book says that the divine creator is light and you're created in the image and the likeness of God, then you're light too, and every one of your cells need light to function. Cells that don't need that type of light are cancer cells. They function on or they feed off of sugar, refined sugars, and anxiety and negative thoughts, toxic thoughts. Just a thought can make your body acidic. That's how powerful you are. And what I'm learning from my cancer journey is that I had to control everything that was going on in here. Everything that was going on in here. Everything that I thought about, I had to find another way of thinking about it and not let my imagination run wild, not let my imagination visualize my own funeral, not let my imagination uh, play the role where it was dominating towards everything negative. Not letting see myself in a casket. These are the thoughts that would bombard you if I didn't stay focused on what was going on in front of me. And the more I educated myself, the more I found out about how the body works, and the more I found out about the power of vision. Even in the good book talks about when they were building the Tower of Babel, that the Lord came down and did whatever He did, but He says that more or less they're unstoppable just by your imagination. I mean, before we put a man on the moon, it was just imagination. Before the Wright brothers put somebody in flight, it was just their imagination. They visualize it, they've seen it, you know. And it's the same thing. One of the pictures that I have, and it's in one of my other videos, is of a cancer cell eating up a tumor, and it's on YouTube. It's an NK killer cell killing a tumor cell by itself. And I watch that all the time because I have an image of what's going on in my body. I also have a picture of the lymphatic system, being that I'm dealing with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a cancer of the lymphatic system. Uh, I keep a picture of a healthy lymphatic system in front of me. At my job, it's in my bedroom, it's on the mirrors. So that's what my lymphatic system is supposed to look like. I don't meditate on the negative. I don't meditate on cancer. Okay, I don't focus in on cancer. You know, I focus on living my life to the fullest. I focus on living. I focus on uh, living every day of my life. You know, the best way that I know how. And I'm very fortunate to be in a position that I'm in, blessed, because um, reversing a possible stage 4 cancer is not, it's not easy. When I think about, all the stuff that I've been through and still have to go through because I got more testing coming up, and I can either focus on this, what a doctor's telling me, which most of the time is negative, or listen to like my naturopath doctor, which is, it's positive. It's always positive. Everything she says to me is always positive, and it just keeps you going. Not in denial. We deal with whatever the outcome may be because my body's still healing. And for instance, I went for a test. It's called a Nagalay test. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's a protein that surrounds cancer cells. So cancer is so smart that it can hide from the immune system. You know, so you need something to destroy it. And I forgot what the procedure is called. And I have a decision whether I want to start that protocol along with the high dose vitamin C to reverse it. And I'm thinking about it because it's so close. But she came back and she says, let's just keep on doing the high dose vitamin C in the protocol that you're doing right now because it seems to be working. That's just, we're going to use it as a backup. And I was just like, cool. And that's what you want, is that somebody feeding life to you, not always being negative, and not letting the mind race around thinking that because the numbers they didn't come out high. It just showed that there's still cancer in there, but it's not real high numbers. And then to reverse it according to this protocol would take a couple weeks. So, I'm like right there, like if you understand football, I'm right there at the goal line, ready to go into the end zone. And I know this. But it's no time to celebrate because my life is always altered. I can never go back to eating fast foods, ridiculously, having tons of cake and ice cream and all the garbage that I used to eat before. I can never go to that. And keeping the mind in check helps me reverse cancer naturally. And reversing cancer naturally starts up here first. It starts up here because you can see people. I see people and I meet people that just get diagnosed, and you can feel the fear that they have. Number one, because no one's educated them. We grew up in a society that there's no cure for cancer. But meanwhile, it's like I grew up in a product of the 70s, 80s. I grew up in Central New Jersey, not that far away from New York City. So back in the late 70s, hip hop was already out before it went around the world. I mean, we were already listening to it like in the late 70s, and rap and all this other stuff before it just went mainstream. And it's the same thing because of the internet, people healing cancer naturally. It's just the same thing. It starts off like a little burst, and then it's just going to spread. And I'm not the only one, healing the body naturally. It's going like wildfire, and it's always been. There's always been people doing it, but we've been a society where we believe that chemotherapy and radiation, although I'm not against it, is the only way to heal the body. And you hear me say this in other videos. If radiation is so healthy, when they give it to you, why does everybody leave the room? When I did my thyroid cancer radiation, I had to stay quarantined for 3 days. If it was so healthy for me, why would it have to be quarantined? These are the things like I think about in retrospect. Like I say in other videos, nobody's selling vacation packages to Chernobyl. It's just not happening. As far as chemotherapy goes, when you do the study on it and you look it up on Google, you find that the origins of chemotherapy is mustard gas. And they say, oh yeah, we're going to take chemotherapy. But if I was to ask you if you want mustard gas, you would tell me, no, get out of here. You know? And these are the things that the more educated you become, the more you control this up here, the more successful you're going to be. And that's in anything in life. It's in anything in life. Because I have a saying that says, you're captive to the thoughts that keep you captive. You're your own prisoner. You're your own, what is it? You're your own, by your thoughts, that's what keeps you captive. The way you perceive things, the way you visualize things. And the Creator gave us vision. Vision is such a, when you visualize things, when you have an imagination, that's why meditation is so important, to spend time by yourself. If you're dealing with cancer or chronic disease or things in life where you want direction in life, it's best to be by yourself, not looking for somebody else's opinion, but getting it from in here. I believe in a divine connection. And your thoughts can be so toxic that your own thoughts are your very personal venom. Your own thoughts are your personal venom. They could be killing you, causing you high blood pressure, causing your whole body to be out of whack, your whole immune system to be out of whack, just by one thought. The mind is so powerful that it can take you anywhere. When you start to dream in imagination, let your imagination go that you are healthy. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the Creator has given us this gift of life, and the body always wants to go back to what's called homeostasis. It's a nice fancy word to say to bring you back to balance. That's all it means. First time I heard it looking at a doctor, I was like, homeostasis, like, what is that? But they use all these big terms that you don't understand, but now I understand a lot of them because I've been around the basis a couple times. And the body is designed to you're not designed to be diseased and sick. You're not designed for that. You're designed to be healthy. You're designed to fulfill a purpose with a passion. That's what you're designed to do. And it all starts here. On what's your perception about your own life? What's the song that keeps on playing over and over and over and over in your head? How do you see yourself? It doesn't matter what anybody else says about you. It only matters what you say about yourself. And you hear through my other videos that I talk about the person that you talk to the most about today is yourself. And when you have this vocal cord, like your vocal cord is a string instrument, it's chords. You don't have to play guitar, piano, whatever it is to play an instrument. Right here, by the words that you say. If you touch it, it's like, wow, it vibrates. That means this vibrates, all your cells vibrates to what you're saying, to your thoughts that you're thinking to yourself. What are you thinking about in your heart? It is so powerful that this gift of life, just by stinking thinking, you can make yourself sick. There's people that have done it, just make themselves sick, and that's all they confess all day. They don't focus on, I have a choice. I can focus on the negative, dealing with cancer, or the positive, that I'm whole and healthy. And when you look at cancer as a whole, it's nothing but the immune system is just out of whack. Focus on the immune system and it'll heal itself. Because the truth of the matter is doctors don't heal. It's your immune system that heals. We're led to believe that doctors heal, but they don't heal. A good doctor knows how to tweak the immune system and back off. Let it go. A good doctor, for me, believes in the spiritual aspect of it. Okay? Whether you get enough sleep or not. Are you happy with your life? Are you happy with your profession? All these things come into play when healing the body naturally. And it all starts here. You have a choice. You can choose negative thoughts, okay, and be depressed all the time, or positive thoughts. And you're just one thought away from being successful. It's just a decision that you got to click on and choose to make the decision to be happy and healthy and live a productive life. Coming from me, I have a second chance at life, and I'm not going to waste it, not living a fulfilled life, not finding passion in my life, not living a life that doesn't have any meaning, just going through the motions. I'm done with that. I'm looking to fulfill my life and looking to help people and inspire people to live the life that they want to live. Because you're looking at a guy who's got a second chance at life. I know what it's like to have a death sentence. I know what it's like not to breathe. I know what it's like to have sweat attacks. I know what it's like to be in pain. Okay, I know what it's like to stand in front of a doctor and the doctor not being able to help me out because he doesn't understand. He wants to give me medicine. I wasn't created a medicine. I don't need medicine. My medicine comes from the ground, comes from the garden. You are what you eat, you are what you think. I'm going to end this video here. God bless you guys. Thank you. And be blessed. Take care.